What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning, y'all must have forgot, Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. says that Oleksandr Usyk is too big for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez and Oleksandr Usyk are arguably the best two fighters in the sport. Usyk would beat Canelo Alvarez if a meeting between the pair even materialized at cruiserweight. That's the verdict of Roy Jones Jr., a four-weight world champion who made a huge leap to heavyweight when defeating John the Quiet Man Ruiz to become the WBA champion back in 2003. Jones, now one of the most prominent voices in the sport, has monitored Canelo's career for a lengthy period, and he'll be a keen spectator when the Mexican icon moves to cruiserweight in 2022. The move has created a wealth of speculation, putting Canelo against Usyk in a potential dream fight, but Jones thinks that Usyk's size advantage will be the deciding factor and has questioned why the Ukrainian would move back down from heavyweight. Okay, he said Usyk is too big for Canelo, Jones said. When speaking, Usyk beats Canelo easy. Oof. And in my opinion, but Usyk is the heavyweight champion of the world. Why would you go down to cruiserweight when you're the heavyweight champion of the world? Remember when Chad Dawson went down from lightweight to fight Andre Ward at 168? And that was the end of his career. So why would you go back down to cruiserweight to fight Alvarez when you have Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua? You have so many big guys in the weight class where you are champion right now that it makes no sense unless you're making way more money. Let me counterpunch to Roy Jones Jr. Listen, I think it will be a problem of the height. Now, the height could convey size for Usyk. But I think one decided factor with Usyk and Canelo wouldn't be able to set those traps with Usyk because Usyk wouldn't sit still enough to get those off. You know, Usyk could throw 3 or 4 punches, but he's always moving, and none more than like his upper body, because Canelo has great upper body movement, don't get me wrong, but Usyk has the footwork to go with the upper body movement. So when you're talking about a person that is bound to move, duck, parry, dodge, dip, weave, and he does all that in such grace and ease, it would be hard to see Canelo win unless Canelo started working that body like he did Lara. Now, that could always be something, but I think that's going to have to be an adjustment that Canelo would make. However, if anybody knows anything about moving down from a weight class to do a particular thing to fail miserably, is Roy Jones Jr. Why do I say that? Because after in 2003, when he won the WBA against Quiet Man John Ruiz, right? He went back down and fought Antonio Tarver, and the rest is history. He beat Tarver, but he was weight drained. He lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of muscle mass, moving down in weight. So if Jones sees anybody doing that same thing, he's going to call him out on it, and I think he's doing that with Oleksandr Usyk. Okay? Now, is he moving down more than Roy did? I don't think he did. But if anybody, again, knows, it's Roy. You don't want to go up and then come down. He mentioned Chad Dawson as an example, but he could have easily used himself. You know, I could see how Usyk could beat Canelo easy because, the jab, right, left hand, left to the body, constant moving, avoiding the counters, staying in the middle of the ring. That's easy. Canelo's a tough guy, though, and I can tell you, one thing I said about Mikey Garcia and I say about Canelo Alvarez, that's if he takes the fight with Oleksandr Usyk, would be he is in Badger status. That's right. He is the new Badger. A little mean, stocky, fearless specimen. Right? I called first Mikey Garcia the Badger when he took on Errol Spence. You got to call Canelo the Badger to take on the heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Right? Because, that's some fearless stuff right there. Let me fight him. Let me fight this big guy. That's just like a badger taking on a damn bear. Right? But it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Or not even a bear, more like a puma, right? Mountain lion, even. Taking on somebody like Usyk. But it's still a bold move if it happens. Canelo has confidence in his ability. So does Oleksandr Usyk. But Roy Jones Jr. thinks that Usyk does it easily. You guys tell me what you think of Roy Jones's predictions against Oleksandr Usyk taking on possibly Canelo Alvarez. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.